Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is Rosh, and you are watching FM9 Basics. This is a video series I'm putting together to help users to program the Fractal Audio Systems FM9. This video series can, of course, be used in conjunction with my previous video series, FM3 Basics and AxeFX Basics. You can check those out at fm3basics.com and axefxbasics.com, and you can check out other tutorials on the FM9 at fm9basics.com, as well as all the tutorials I put up on this YouTube channel. So once again, my name is Rosh. A little about myself. I am a guitar player and guitar tech out here in the Los Angeles area. I build and program a lot of guitar rigs for a lot of different clients. Some of my clients include Steve Vai, Leppard, Melissa Etheridge, Perfect Circle, Bush, and more. And I wanted to give back to the Fractal community and show some strategies, tips, and tricks for new and experienced users to get the most out of their Fractal Audio Systems units. And in this video series is, of course, dedicated mainly to the FM9 unit. But of course, a lot of these strategies can can be used on all the other units that Fractal Audio Systems makes, all the Generation 3 units, such as the AxeFX3 and the FM3. So let's get started right away with this tutorial. So this tutorial is going to be talking about per preset functions. So I do have a previous video talking about this, but we're going to go into a strategy I like to show a lot of clients and new users, where you start with factory presets and then you can design and build, your own presets modified based on the factory presets. And then the per preset foot controller function is really useful for that. So for example, if you look down on the unit right now, especially if you pull it out of the box, it's going to go to the first layout. So as you can see, everything's in the preset layout. You can, of course, go into the FC edit menu and then check out layout number 1, which is presets. So this is what's going to happen and what's going to pop up on the unit. It doesn't matter if you go up to another preset, you go to different banks, all this kind of stuff. Now, what I tell users or new users, if they're going to dial in their own tones, the first thing you want to do is, check out the factory presets. They're all really good. The first, set of presets here, the first 2 columns or 3 columns are generally based on amps. So if you have a preferred amp type, start with the factory presets. It's always a good starting point. And then what you can do is once you get the tones close to where you want, then you can also modify, turn the knobs, get the sounds exactly where you want them, and then you can build a custom preset. So for example, let's go right into it. So if we take this 59 bass guy preset, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this preset menu and I'm going to save this to another preset, just way over here in the 400s, just so I can keep a pristine copy of my original preset. So let's copy that here to 400. As you can see, there's tons of empty slots here. These are my personal presets. They change around all the time. So we're going to copy that preset here. And then I'm going to go into this per preset function of what we have. So of course, if you look down at the unit, it's still in the preset function. So let's call this per preset. And what we're going to do is we're going to audition this factory preset. Let's find some sounds that we really like in the scenes that we have. So for example, you can start playing, check out the sounds. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's like a good crunch sound. Let's see, maybe a cranked. Okay, that would be more of like a high gain sound. I probably need like a clean sound at some point. So let's check out, maybe, do we have dry crunch? So it's still pretty crunchy. So what we can do now is, let's say we like the first 2 scenes right here, okay? And then we want access to some of these effects that are in here. Of course, again, if you look down at the unit, you're not gonna have access to those effects. If you check out some previous tutorials, I show how to get into the effects thing. But let's just say we wanna use this preset as our starting point and we wanna build a layout that's gonna give you access to these 2 scenes, as well as some of these effects, okay? So Fractal Audio Systems came up with a really genius way of how to do this. This is called the per preset foot controller function, okay? So if you click in this menu, you can see you can assign up to 24 per preset functions. And a great way to do this is you're looking at your layout right here, and you're like, okay, cool. I have 9 buttons that I can adjust here. Now, a pitfall that I see a lot is people start messing with this and start going, oh, well, I want, the effect to be here, and I want I want to be able to put my overdrive here and my delay here, and etc. And you have to remember that if you adjust any of these switches in this layout, it is global. So every preset's going to be for that. Now, if we want a layout that only lives within this preset, while everything else, all the other presets you have, remain intact as normal, you're going to use the per preset function. Okay? So right down here in the bottom right, you can see this per preset override. So what this allows you to do is build a custom layout that is only going to be activated when you are on this particular preset. So what you can do is every preset you build, you can have its own custom layout. You don't need to worry about overriding these layouts, picking the layout. That can get also really confusing. You're basically building a pedal board per preset. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I want access to the first 2 scenes of this preset. Okay, so let's assign those now. And I'm going to put them here and here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do per preset override. Let's do per preset number 1. It's going to bring you to the per preset override menu if you hit edit right here. And then this is almost like assigning a switch, but again, it only lives on this preset. So I want access to scene 1. Let's go into category, scene, and then I'm going to pick scene 1. Okay, that's going to be corresponding to this crunch scene. So as you can see down below, the unit is already starting to reflect that. Okay, if we take away that override, this is the default way the layout looks. Again, if you look down, you can see that, but we're going to override that with our scene right here. And then we're going to go along and complete the rest of these scenes. So let's say per preset number 2, okay, because we don't want to use number 1, we want to use number 2. I'm going to hit edit again, and I want to have access to scene number 2. So we're going to do that. And again, if you look below, the unit has the crunch and the clean. I'm going to go back to this one really quick and just make sure the color is selected. Again, I use the factory default colors, red for scenes. You can use any color you want, but that's what I want. And then now I have these 3 buttons, let's say, that I want to have access to some of these effects, or maybe all these effects. So let's go through that. Maybe I want to turn on the phaser and the drive. Okay, so we'll go over here. And again, do not start messing with these because these are global within this current layout. We want to use the per preset override. So I'm going to go to number 3, hit edit, and then this time I'm going to have access to the effect, which is the phaser. Okay, so we go to effect, we go to phaser right here. Okay, and then again, as you can see below, we have our phaser. Now I want access to the drive. So I'm going to go through this a little bit quicker. Per preset number 4, effect. I'm going to turn on the drive block. Okay. And then and then here, I want to assign that to number 4. That's our drive block. And of course, put the light blue color. And then let's look at some of these other effects. Yeah, the chorus, tremolo, delay, rotary, let's assign those. So I have the chorus. I'm going to make that per preset number 5. I'm going to select this color, go to the effect. I'm going to bypass the chorus. Sorry, it gets cut off right there on the video. And then you can keep these bank switches if you want. These are the global ones. I probably want the tap tempo and the tuner here just so I can time my delays. And of course, instead of using the scenes button right here, let's make that a delay block. So I'm going to use per preset number 6. And then hit edit. And I'm going to assign that to the delay. So effect. And I'm going to pick delay 1. Okay. So now if you look down at the unit, you have a custom layout that again only lives on this particular preset. So if I save this, so we're looking down at the unit, we have crunch and cranked, some effects that are in this factory preset. Now, if I go to any other preset, let's just go back to Plexi 100, you'll notice that the layout on the unit returns to this factory layout that we haven't modified. So let's go back to that per preset layout. That was 401, I believe. Sorry, I have two instances of that. If anything, let me just do a little bit of cleanup. Let's get rid of this one. Okay. And if you look again at this, preset 401, it's per preset, the layout is the custom per preset layout that we just built. Okay, so I'm going to lean into the second camera angle, and I'm just going to show that I can turn on any of these effects. Again, this factory preset has a custom layout that we have access to a couple of different effects and scenes in there. And the sky's the limit, of course. Maybe you like 4 of the scenes that are in a factory preset, and you only like 2 of the effects. I mean, you can literally do anything. So here is the crunch sound. Here is the crank sound. Okay, now if I go back to the crunch sound, I can turn on the phaser. I can turn on the drive. I can turn on the chorus. And remember, you can also, do that in a different scene. So I'm in scene 2 now, the crank scene. Turn on the delay. And let me check this delay block. It's not assigned to a tempo. We can assign it to a tempo, let's say quarter notes. And then now my tap tempo is going to be synced up with the delay. So if I tap that faster, or if I tap it slower, so this is a really useful way to build your own presets starting from the factory presets. So let's do another one. I'll take, I like this Brit 800 one. Okay, and again, if you look at the layout, this is the default layout from the factory, layout number 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this Brit 800 preset. And, preset. I'm going to save that. Let's copy it to 402 right here. I'm going to save this. And again, I'm going to audition some of these sounds really quickly. Okay, so. Okay, I like that one. So I want to keep scene 1 for sure. One's too similar for me. Let's check out this hot lead. A little too much for me. Let's try Leon's number 34. How about mod? Let's try the mod. Yeah, I like that one. So we're going to keep scenes 1 and 3. Those are pretty cool. Maybe this slammed. Yeah, I like that one too. So I like scenes 1, 3, and 4. And maybe I want access to some of these other effects in here. So we're going to, again, if you look at the layout, this is the factory layout, but let's build a custom per preset layout for this factory preset. So I want scenes 1, 3, and 4. So I'm going to start here. Hit edit. Let's let the unit sync up. Now I want scene 1. Make that red. And then here, I want scene 3. That was the scene I liked. So I'm going to go to the second override. Doesn't matter how many what switches you use. I just like to go in order. You have 24. So again, I want to select scene 3 this time from that scene. Okay. And then again, now usually if you see me do this, I usually assign all the per preset functions first and then assign them to the buttons, but I'm just going like one at a time just as a demonstration on how to build this per preset override layout for this particular preset. So I want this button to be scene number 4. So per preset number 3, we're gonna hit edit, give it red, scene, and then of course scene number 4. Okay, so as you can see, the first 3 buttons are going to be scene 1, scene 3, and scene 4. Okay, and then they even have the name of those scenes. Now let's see, maybe I want access to the chorus, the flange, and the delay. Nah, not the chorus. Let's do flange, delay, and then the drive. So I want flange, delay, and then the drive right here. So I'm going to, again, do not edit these because this is global. We want to use a per preset override. So I'm going to hit number 4, hit edit. Now I'm going to use this light blue color. And then I want this, and I'm going to make that the drive. Okay, and then this button, we're going to assign it per preset number 5. Hit edit. And blue. And then I want access to the flanger. There we go. And then last but not least, this button right here, let's make that the delay. So again, I don't want to edit any of this. I want to go to the per preset override. So number 6, hit edit. And go here, effect, and then the delay. Very cool. All right, so now if we look down at the unit, we have 3 scenes and 3 effects that we have access to. I'm going to save this with scene 1 on. We're going to hit save. And again, I get my first scene, scene number 2, or I'm sorry, scene number 3, okay, sign on button number 2. I get scene number 4. Right. And then now, of course, we have access to all the effects within each scene. So, or not all the effects, but the effects we assigned. So for example, in scene 1, I could turn on the drive. I could turn on the flanger. You know, so, or you could turn on the delay. And of course, you can do this, again, the sky's the limit with every preset. And again, we're starting from a factory preset. At any point in this, of course, you can start turning the knobs, tweaking the effects to whatever your liking is on each scene. You can have each scene turn on certain effects. So maybe when you get to this slammed right here, there's a compressor at the end. Maybe I want to turn on the drive on that too when I get there. And then when I go back to scene 1, it's just kind of like more dry or, you know, with the delay off or something. So going from the 800 to the slammed, I got a bunch of effects turning on. So as you can see, sky's the limit. Again, these are a great way to audition factory presets and build your own custom layout that only lives on that preset. So for example, if we save that and we return to the previous example preset that we did, you'll notice right away the layout completely changes. We only have access to 2 scenes and we have access to 4 effects. But if we go to this current Brit 800 modified preset with its custom layout, we have 3 scenes and 3 effects. So this is a very useful tool if you have, you know, a bunch of different presets and maybe you only need like, you know, 2 scenes in the first preset and then 4 scenes in the second preset, etc. Really useful for users who are maybe have a set list of songs, and some songs just are a verse and a chorus. Some songs have a verse, chorus, bridge. Other songs might have, you know, something more elaborate like an intro, a verse, a chorus, you know, a solo to a bridge to a second chorus that's a different guitar tone or whatever. Sky's the limit. And again, all you're doing is assigning per preset functions. So this is going to be a quick overview on per preset. I use this feature all the time for not only my presets, but client presets. And again, it's always song specific or maybe gig specific. really, really useful to tailor layouts that you only need to be used on presets without having to modify any of the factory layouts. So again, if we return to any of the factory presets, the layout returns to normal. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys have any questions, any topics you would like me to cover, by all means, feel free to reach out. You can reach out to me directly or leave a comment below. And if you guys need any one-on-one help, any one-on-one consultations, by all means, feel free to reach out or leave a comment below as well. Other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.
I'm falling with you. I'm standing